We are joined by Liz Clayman, anchor on the Fox Business Network and host of Countdown to the Closing Bell. Good morning.
Good morning, Harry.
Good to have you here in the studio. Before we talk about the economic stimulus plan, we want to talk about this car bailout. More than $17 billion at stake. The car makers have had, this is GM and Chrysler, not Ford.
Correct.
Now remember.
Correct.
And they've had these weeks now to come up with this plan. What if they fall short? What if they come to the government and the government says, you haven't done enough?
Can you believe they've been up all night negotiating? It has come down to the wire, and if they are short on this, they may have to go bankrupt. Although it is widely believed that there is no U.S. president, because President Bush wouldn't do it, that would allow the falling of the U.S. auto industry to be on their shoulders.
Right.
So clearly, these companies have done the best they can. President Obama has said, we need you to make tough concessions.
Right.
That means getting rid of nameplates, all kinds of brands,
Yeah.
cutting dealerships, and making tough union decisions.
Right. There's not going to be a car czar, we understand, but there is a guy named Ron Bloom who really is this very hard-nails, tough negotiator. What's his sort of standard in terms of how low do you need to go in order to get this thing done?
Let's put it this way. From what we know about Mr. Bloom, he is a military mind, meaning he'd be like a Marine sergeant coming into these companies. Nobody's going to like him. He doesn't want to be the friend of the companies or the friend of the unions. He's got an incredible history with the United Steelworkers Union. He
Right.
forced them, meaning a lot of the union workers, to make concessions during very tough times. But do these companies want to survive, Harry?
Right.
If they do, they have to make the tough decisions.
All right. Hey, you know, this is my own personal copy of the economic stimulus bill. I'm not sure if you have one or not.
Do I have to carry this?
See, how much is it?
We broke our printer at Fox Business trying
Did
to
you?
print this thing. Exactly.
There you go. This thing goes into action today. We made a pie chart to sort of give folks a little bit of an idea of what happens and what's going on. And one of the big complaints was there really is not enough of this. Not enough of this, you know, what's going to go into bricks and mortars, what's going to build bridges, that sort of stuff like this. But this is sort of the whole thing in a nutshell.
Indeed. And when you talk about the discretionary spending, this is the stimulative part that a lot of people feel there should be more of, because this is the building of the bridges, the highways, the things that would put people to work. But aside from the fact that some people complain there isn't enough, and there is a ton of complaining here.
That's me.
You're
I'm
looking
sorry. Sorry, I walked in here.
Harry's still
I
trying to
couldn't
lift
hold
that
on to
thing.
it anymore.
You're looking at projects that everybody said were supposed to be so-called shovel-ready, meaning
Right.
let's start tomorrow. They're not. Many of them take a year or two to kick in, and we need to see that a little bit more
How
quickly.
likely that in the not too distant future, there is an economic stimulus plan too?
Well, there you go. And we already start to hear those rumors. But again, there are a growing group of people who really feel that you should give it some time.
Right.
To let it start to take hold, but the initial aspect needs to be psychological.
Right. And if you love TARP, you might like emulate.
I've got walking away with gifts here.
It's your own TARP.
My own tart.
All right.
Thank you, Harry.
Liz Clayman, thanks so much.